I don't know whether you follow happiness. I mean, that's a state you're in. You can't really make it happen. Yeah, I can see it quite clearly from here with my naked eye. I can see all the beautiful patterns. That's good. You can start your video with a shot of the owl. Now, Noel, we have to start gold leafing that sculpture. The owl. When I was maybe 4 or 5, we lived in this remote uh, coconut plantation, and it was a fair wilderness around. No? And in the night, I could hear these owls of all sorts, including this forest eagle owl that screams its head off like someone being strangled. So I used to be fearful, even to the extent that I had a book of nursery rhymes, and in it there was Who Killed Cock Robin, and in it there is an owl. So my sisters and my elder brothers, to make me feel frightened, used to take it and start reading it in the night because I was so fearful of it. And I remember once we had a toilet maybe about 50 yards outside of the house, right? Uh, and now I wanted to go and do a crap, but in my dreams, there was a huge owl inside. So my mother says, "Why aren't you going for a crap?" So I didn't want to say. So I eventually said, "I think there's an owl inside." It starts from being fearful. But then later, I think one of the watchers on the estate, they had guns those days. And he had shot an owl. So I saw this poor dead thing. Not at all. It still looked lovely. But that's how. Then I started drawing them. Jeffrey Bauer has some which I made in lead. They were cast in lead. At that time, I didn't realize that lead was deadly poisonous. But melting lead, and then there's a vapor coming out it, and only later I read that you might have terrible brain damage. I mean, so then I stopped. But I actually did 5 foot high, tall sculptures for Jeffrey in lead before I knew that this was a bad thing to do. So maybe my brain has been addled. It's an interesting story that now in my family, because I was a sort of middle guy, my elder brothers and sisters, I was the butt of all their jokes, like the black sheep of the family. And I used to have malaria, very high fever, and almost died. We were living in this remote place. So one day I heard my mother telling my elder brothers, "Don't joke and fool around with Lucky because his brain has been addled with malaria." As a result of that, I mean, they put up with a lot of nonsense from addled with malaria. I have whistled that bird, and he came and settled on the top of that cock's comb there. They get annoyed when you whistle. It's like, it's invasion in their territory. Otherwise, he's usually lurking in the bush, but if you whistle back to him, he comes right out. And so that's in a way, I have been using this notion of doing a sculpture and getting nature to do the rest of it. Like this double coconut here, there are two pipes that come up and it dribbles water. It is just made out of ferrocement concrete, but the two pipes let water very slowly down it, so the moss grows on it when you let it go loose on what people have done. Uh, and when you look at ancient things like Machu Picchu and all, things like Angkor Wat, and the very fact that there was nature growing over human constructions, it looked much better, especially the ficus trees. Even in Colombo, I have seen them growing over the top of one of these fancy old gate posts, but wrapping the roots down and growing on top of it is really, it's a superb sculpture. Now even this tree is, it's done so that eventually leaves will fall into it, and soon I'm hoping like spiders will come and start building webs on it. That's another lovely idea I have for a sculpture. If you go down the road and you see these telegraph poles with wires going down, and every now and then you come across a whole lot of one range of it completely webbed with spider webs. So you do this on you like you have a large acre of water like this with stainless steel rods going up and this mesh all around it. And you know when you get the dewdrops on a spider web, that's beautiful sight already, you know. So that's the idea. You get that. So I'm hoping it'll happen. If I had a lot of money, I would have done it by now. In the night, my reason for lighting the trees, when the water is like this dark, it acts like a mirror. In fact, there are black mirrors. Okay, so when you light it up, the whole space becomes doubled. So instead of just seeing this, you see another complete wonderful space. In fact, in many of my landscape designs, I have used mirrors, even in very small areas, so that extends the view. Uh, even from a long time, I used to be fascinated with the mirrors. The fact is that most of the time you don't really aware of the mirror, but you're looking at the reflection. Mm. Lucky, lucky. Now what's happening? Lucky. Hello? Yes? Max? My God. But let me tell you some interesting news. There's a young photographer from Texas who's here doing a major video of me and the garden. When does this exhibition start? 21st. Okay, so we have 20 days or something.